Chris, how are Anthony and Jaden progressing here and there?
Good. I mean, I think it's going in the right direction. Don't have clarity on either one as it pertains. Jaden for sure not going to be available this week. Hopefully, we can start to see some live practice play next week with him, but still unsure about that. And Ant is just day to day.
Is he getting some practice work in?
Yeah, Ant was in practice today.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
What about Jordan?
Jordan was in practice today too. So his first day, he's gone back in practice. It was not a full go contact practice, but he did pretty much everything in practice today.
Do you get the sense that he's inching towards?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know, if it's end of this week or next, but I think we're in that range.
Chris, you guys have been really good in the clutch situation so far this year. What do you see as the big factors allowing that execution to be there when you need it the most?
Our defense is held up there. That's kind of always been key. I think that's big stops for sure. And obviously, Mike Conley is huge and has been huge in that role. And I think Ant's done a much better job of picking his spots between scoring and playmaking. But I also feel like Mike and Kyle out there, like they've been doing a much better job of like giving our guys, whether it be Cat or him, the ball, at the right time and in the right moments.
And that your shooting percentages are really good, 3-and field goal. Is that just getting the right shots?
I think it's just like getting better shots for sure. Yeah, I mean a lot of our closing opportunities were kind of ISO, threes or tough shots in the past offensively. It's something we talked about coming into the season that we absolutely had to get better at. And the other thing is when you're winning close games, there's certainly some variance to it too. So, but yeah, overall the things we can feel good about are the things we've highlighted.
What's kind of the communication with you and Mike in those situations in terms of what you want to call and how much freedom you give him?
I mean, I give him a lot of freedom. I just a few things here and there. Like I think we're a little more varied in how we close games with different sets that we use. We used to close games with the same type of structure last year and the year before a lot. Now we switch it up a little bit more. Actions that get the ball back into Mike's hands have been key for us too. So. But he has a lot of freedom in those situations.
Chris, San Antonio doesn't play a traditional point guard.
Yeah.
There's a couple teams around the league. I mean, you guys kind of off the bench are doing that.
Yeah.
Too. I'm just kind of curious what you think like the advantages of that can be, and just kind of that popping up more and more around the league.
Yeah, I think one is it helps your pace, because anyone can bring it. I know it forces tough matchup problems sometimes in transition when you're doing that. So it has like an added benefit there. I think it's kind of just speaks to the growing fluidity of the game in general. There's less set play call anyway. So it's not like somebody's got to get you organized and kind of call a lot of sets. So it's kind of like where the game's evolved to. But of course, if you have a true and classic point guard, they still stand out. Still have great value.
Maybe more so at the end of games than any other.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably 100% right because at that point in time, it's a lot of either pick and roll where you need a guard who can create and make shots, or try to get organized in your sets. So.
Were you comfortable with that early on, or did that take some getting used to in terms of not having a traditional point guard?
I mean, I've always been pretty comfortable with it. Like a lot of the teams that I've been involved in, going way back, haven't had it and playing with pace, like giving freedom for different guys to bring the ball, and then it's literally about like, okay, I'd like you to play out of these actions and maybe another point guard or a guard that bringing the ball rather is better suited for these actions. It's kind of like creating a bit of a menu for that. I think it's been gives you some variety too. It's not like you come down to the same thing all the time. So yeah, for me it's been comfortable, but it's your team still has to get used to playing that way. So.
Chris, one thing Mike was just saying about how you've handled the team during this good start is finding clips from each game, like, hey, here's where you got it better, this is what you got it better. Like, just, how do you find yourself trying to manage a team that is having so much success and kind of keeping them focused?
Yeah, I mean, I've always approached like, when things are going well, you got to have you got to see what storm clouds are on the horizon. Like you got to be able to improve through success. It's against human nature. But for me, I've always kind of like been able to drill down on the mistakes and stuff like that. It's just how you present them. You can't beating them on the head with them with a lot of negativity, but you do have to highlight them. And areas of growth. I think there's always areas of growth. You know, transition defense has gotten a little leaky for us. I have to tighten that up right now. Being able to kind of also adjust to different maybe pick and roll coverages that we have used on the fly but haven't been good enough yet. You know, so yeah, there's always lots to work on, but I think it's, you know, you gotta be happy with where you are but not satisfied for sure.
Is that the coaches are so miserable?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yep, absolutely. It's when you go into perfectionist mode. So.
Chris, I think you guys are like 9-1 at home or something like that. Can you feel a different level of energy from the fans at home games this year and how excited they are for this team?
Yeah, without a doubt, yeah, 100%. A lot of energy in the gym. I think they really responded to a lot of good play. They're not booing us. That's always a bonus. And yeah, I think it's, you know, it's fed off the team and the way we've played, and you know, it's fun to see them like really appreciate some of the grittier parts of the game. You know, some of the things that Rudy's doing out there. You know, and been great. Crowds have been great, and atmosphere has been great. Can't complain. Like, hopefully, we can keep it rolling.
That's always been who they've been, though, right? Like, it seems like this crowd has always appreciated grittiness.
Yeah.
Like, the things that Rudy does, now he's really doing them at a high level this year. It seems like those have always kind of been things that have fit what they appreciate.
I mean, I've always felt, I mean, I've been in the league, 13, 14 years or whatever it is now, so I've always felt this is a tough place to come and play. You know, really have. The arena's tight, crowd's right on top of you. You know, and it can be a little mean at times as you're an opponent. So I like that. But yeah, you know, always been a lot of energy. So
Thanks.
thanks.
Thanks, Chris.